Okay. All right. We have Bobby Hamlet here as we are starting the first game of the 2018 season for college football. And so we want to ask Bobby a few questions. Bobby is a graduate from UCF, so we first want to talk about one of the early games coming up this week, UCF, and just get his take on what he thinks is going to happen as UCF plays UConn.
All right. Well, thank you, John. I would just say that don't sleep on UConn, folks. I know that everyone is, but UConn's got Randy Edsall back, who took that program from nothing and brought them to the Bowl Championship Division Series, got him even to a Fiesta Bowl one year. And this is year 2 of Randy Edsall and UConn. So I would just say, watch out. I think they'll stay with them for a half. I think UCF's got too many weapons. They've got Adrian Killens, Mackenzie Milton back. I think UCF's too strong in this one, but I think it's closer than what most people would expect.
Okay. Saying all that, Bobby, let's talk about what you expect of UCF's season, because, a lot of people are talking about, that they've got a weaker schedule and it looks like, they could easily go undefeated again. So what is that going to mean? Are they going to claim another national championship?
I honestly don't think so. I think that although the schedule doesn't look that hard, when you have a team that's an air raid style offense, you've got to play a team like Navy on the schedule. Navy's going to run the ball. Last year, UCF barely got by a team like that. When you have teams on your schedule that can run the ball and they can control the tempo, I think that will trip UCF. They've got UNC and Pittsburgh, we don't seem like hard teams, but if they have more talent than UCF, they might be able to hold the ball and beat them. So I expect UCF to probably go 11-1 or 10-2 this year.
Okay. All right. Now, you are a UCF grad, but your heart is in Blacksburg. So let's talk about that Monday night game. And okay. That's a big game. It is as Virginia Tech faces off with Florida State. What do you expect to see in that game?
Well, I mean, that Florida State's going to be loaded. They always have. They're usually loaded like Alabama at every position. They've got quarterback. They got a good problem at quarterback. They have DeAndre Francois as well as James Blackman. So that Blackman starting last year, having a decent year during Jimbo Fisher's exit season. I think DeAndre Francois will probably start. I think he's more of the natural passer. You might see some Blackman, but you got a new coach in Willie Taggart, and we don't know what to expect. So the game is at Tallahassee. Talent's in favor of Florida State. Most people are kind of saying Florida State because they're at home. In Virginia Tech, they lost a lot of people. You had 2 guys go in the first round on defense, 2 brothers. You had a handful of guys leaving the program, whether it be academics or whatnot. Even one of the coaches getting in trouble and having to leave the staff. And so a lot of turmoil there with Virginia Tech. You have Josh Jackson back at quarterback. You've got a handful of people back with Bud Foster on defense. You don't really have to worry too much on that side of the ball. My mind says Florida State. They're at home. They're probably more talented. My heart says Virginia Tech. Why not Tech? This is a team that, they've been 2 years under Justin Fuente, and this is the first year for Willie Taggart. So, Virginia Tech's played in some bigger games. They have some experience. So I like Tech. I think why not? Why not Tech?
Okay, Bobby, I'm not surprised that you like Tech, but I've got a question for you here. And what do you feel like is the difference maker in the game?
Well, I think Cam Akers at running back for Florida State and the other running back they have are a pretty dynamic duo. And so if these guys can run the ball well against Virginia Tech, and remember, Virginia Tech is they try to be balanced, but they're more, of a passing offense. If you can control the ball against them, I think that, and Bud Foster's defense has to be on the field for a long time. I think that could really set Virginia Tech back. And so I think you've got to see, Virginia Tech be able to sustain drives and not turn the ball over. They, had quite a few games last year where they just kept turning the ball over. And so I think if ball security is key, I'd say special teams comes into play, Tech gets a block, and that's the difference in the game. That's what I'm saying.
All right, Bobby. Thank you for your input, and looking forward to what's going to happen this coming week.